My name is Dov Landau, and I was born in Poland. I fought in Gush Etzion near Jerusalem. I finished learning at Mikveh Israel School. Our goal was to set up a kibbutz named after the children of Buchenwald, but we were drafted into the Haganah. I also worked in a metal welding workshop to make landmines. We would plant the mines on the fence surrounding the kibbutz to ward off the Arabs. On that fateful day, the Arabs broke through in order to kill and loot. To stay alive, we were forced to retreat down towards the main road. There we were faced with the armored vehicles of the enemy. In the end, we were taken captive to Jordan. We were first taken to the prison in nearby Hebron until they could take us to Jordan via the Burma Road. I will never forget, even after 72 years.
My name is Ephraim Wolf. I was born in 1932 in Romania. We secretly heard on the radio about the establishment of the State of Israel. We were overjoyed. My friends and I engaged in a number of covert Zionist activities. We didn't manage much. But despite this, I was arrested. It happened one evening. A man came to me and said, "Your friend is in a certain hotel in Moldova and wants to meet you." It seemed a little strange to me, but I had no choice but to go with him. We arrived at a certain building, which turned out to be a prison. In October, they moved me to a different place. I was informed that I had been sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment.
My name is Benjamin Mazouz, and I was held captive in Syria in the Yom Kippur War. We were taken captive on the first day of the war in the Mount Hermon outpost. During the shooting, we were hiding in the ditch together with our dead and wounded. Among them, the sergeant of our post, Itzik Shalom, in critical condition. In my heart, I apologized to him for failing as a soldier, that I didn't fight to the death. We were captured and made to walk 12 kilometers, and I was still fasting. I hadn't eaten since the last meal before Yom Kippur, and we walked almost until Damascus. I said the traveler's prayer with great concentration. I also added that which is usually said, "And return us in peace," because I was decided to return the same day. The fact the Syrians didn't know was their own problem.
I am Yirmiyahu Malka, and I left Ethiopia in the 80s. The Sudanese police caught me after I had been smuggling Jews out of Ethiopia for a few months. We started our route in Al-Qatarif to obtain an entry permit to Khartoum. We smuggled the people over 600 kilometers, over treacherous terrain throughout the day and night. Once in Khartoum, the Mossad would prepare a passport for them and send them to Israel through an indirect route. My job was to bring people to Khartoum. This carried on until one day, upon entering Khartoum in Sudan, I was imprisoned for a month. Without a trial or a charge sheet. They just lock you up, interrogate you, and then lock you back up. I was never given any reason or explanation. And I had no clue when and if I would be released. The uncertainty prevented my ability to hope. It's dangerous in Sudan. I didn't think I'd ever get out. If I had admitted to the smuggling, they would have let me go. But I didn't tell them. It was a secret.
The cell was hermetically sealed, and the only thing there was a neon lamp. But we could make out light and dark through the keffiyeh they gave us. We were blindfolded for 10 days with our hands bound.
We were 650 captives in Jordanian captivity. Among us were 96 girls. We petitioned the captors to allow us to be incarcerated together with our wives, even though we weren't actually married. Each man took a girl in order to protect her from the enemy hands. We feared for their lives. I cooked every day for 200 people. Kosher vegetable soup with lamb pieces.
The period of incarceration was terrible. We were given nothing, no food, no shower. I was then transferred to a big prison in Sudan that was originally built by the English. It was very orderly, with thieves on one side, murderers on another side, and political prisoners on yet another side. It was divided into 3 sections. In comparison, in Ethiopia, the prison guards would torture and beat the prisoners. They'd really suffer.
We were in complete isolation from the outside world. We could write a letter twice a year. We were told what to write, that we are alive, healthy, and that we got the parcel. We were allowed to see family just once. I got to see my father. I was certain it was the last time I would ever see him. My father was brought in and we only had a few minutes to talk. My father began crying. We spoke a few words and that was it.
I felt true freedom on the day that they transferred me to Al-Maza in Syria. When they undid the handcuffs, I said the blessing of he who releases the bound. I was free to use my hands. I said the blessing of he who opens up the eyes of the blind without the captivity. And it was truly a feeling of freedom, gratitude for what you have. It filled me with renewed hope. It was clear to me that we would go home. I didn't have a doubt that they would send us home. For some reason, I got stuck on the number 3 weeks. In actual fact, it took us 8 months plus 5 or 6 days until we returned.
Suddenly one night they said, "Let's go to the operating room." What do you mean an operation? I didn't understand what they wanted. Then I recalled that in the 1920s, several generals disliked by Stalin were sent to operating room. This was, in fact, their death sentence. It turned out that was my key to freedom.
It was as if I was born again. After I was released, I really did forget all the suffering. When I reached Israel, I also found my mother alive. And I forgot about all the suffering. Today, I occasionally remember, but to be free in Israel is what we prayed for.
We heard the door of the neighboring cell opening. And I said, "Wow, can they possibly be releasing us today?" I was in utter disbelief that this could mean freedom. I would only believe once my 2 feet were rooted on Israeli soil. At about 7, they took us out in pairs, holding hands.
When I returned, David Ben-Gurion welcomed us in Jerusalem. I received an award for my strength and bravery. You were the most important heroes for not allowing Jerusalem to fall into Arab hands.
In short, that's how we came home. And when I returned from the airport, my mom held me tight. I told her, "Mom, what happened? My hand's about to fall down." "Honey, once you were locked up for 8 months, now I keep you from running away."
They told me I was free. I took the bag that held my personal possessions and I left. It was really a celebration.